Turkey in the solution of the Cyprus problem is crucial. This is underlined by the EU in the conclusions of the Council of last December. The Turkish Cypriot community cannot of itself handle the Cyprus problem, and most importantly, it cannot take decisions for its solution without the consent and the corresponding decisions of Turkey. This crucial role, as is observed in the conclusions mentioned above, was not played by Turkey as it should have been done in order to achieve a solution grounded in the resolutions of the UN. It is the European Union which is calling upon Turkey to actively work for the promotion of a solution and not to stop at mere declaration as she has so far done. Turkey needs to change her stance. It is imperative that she abandon communication ploys and prove in deeds that she desires a solution of the Cyprus problem. To prove that she respects the territorial integrity of the Republic of Cyprus, which she has been violating, and give the green light to the Turkish Cypriot leadership for a serious and effective negotiation towards the achievement of a real federation for which the two communities have agreed since 1977. Dear friends, we spoke above of the benefit of a solution for everyone involved in the Cyprus problem. However, the greatest benefit will come to the reunified Federal Republic of Cyprus and its entire people, Greek Cypriots and Turkish Cypriots. The solution will open new vistas of development and progress, and the Cypriots will be able to harvest the fruits of permanent peace, security, and prosperity in a contemporary European state. The United Federal Republic of Cyprus will be the solid ground on which the Greek Cypriots and Turkish Cypriots will build their common future, and at the same time, each community will be able to cultivate its own particular cultural, religious, and linguistic identity. But how will we reach solution? There are some very basic prerequisites for the achievement of a solution. I will give a brief account of these prerequisites. First, the efforts for a solution must take into account that the Cyprus problem is in essence an international problem, a problem of invasion and occupation and violation of the territorial integrity and the sovereignty of the Republic of Cyprus by Turkey. In Cyprus, Turkey also violates international law and the human rights and basic freedoms of the Cypriot people. The solution of the Cyprus problem has to put an end to all these violations, terminate occupation, and reunite Cyprus in the framework of a bizonal, bicommunal federation with political equality as it is described by the relevant resolutions of the United Nations, for one state with one sovereignty, one citizenship, and one international personality. The relations between the two Cypriot communities are part of the Cyprus problem, but they are not the decisive part. Second, the Cyprus problem has two basic aspects, the internal and the international. The two communities, through the intercommunal dialogue, are called upon to resolve the internal aspects of the Cyprus problem and to decide upon the matters constituting the international aspect of the problem. These matters will be resolved in an international conference in the framework and under the aegis of the United Nations Organization, with the participation of the 5 permanent members of the Security Council, the European Union, the guarantor powers, and the Republic of Cyprus. Third, the content of the solution must be based on the UN resolutions on Cyprus, international and European law, and the high-level agreements of 1977 and 1979, which contain the compromise for the reunification of Cyprus and the Cypriot people in the framework of a bizonal bicommunal federation. Fourth, in order to achieve a solution as soon as possible, it is mandatory that the two communities submit positions within the framework we have described. As long as the two communities, with their positions and proposals, serve the solution of federation, they are contributing towards the achievement of a solution. As long as they are outside this framework, progress cannot be achieved. The content of the solution must be a product of agreement between the communities and not a product of arbitration or outside imposition. I do not want to enter into a blame game and pronounce on why a solution has not been found all these years. I note, however, that the former Turkish Cypriot leader, Mr. Rauf Denktaş, proclaimed his vision for a solution as the creation of two separate states in Cyprus. This always placed him outside the framework of the UN resolutions. Turkey, furthermore, until the election of Mr. Erdogan, had the constant position that the Cyprus problem had been resolved in 1974. Mr. Erdogan changed this dogma, and he now states that the problem must be solved. However, as the European Council observes, Turkey has done nothing tangible to that end, and without Turkey's consent, a solution cannot be achieved. Dear friends, the solution of the Cyprus problem will be reached through the intercommunal dialogue. When the President of Cyprus Republic, Mr. Dimitris Christofias, took up his duties in 2008, the Cyprus problem was in a condition of stalemate. With his initiatives and with the positive response of the former leader of the Turkish Cypriot community, Mr. Talat, the intercommunal dialogue started again under the aegis of the UN Secretary-General. It was agreed with Mr. Talat that the solution will provide for the reunification of Cyprus in the framework of a bizonal, bicommunal federation with political equality, as it is described in the relevant UN resolutions, for one state with one and indivisible sovereignty, one citizenship, and one international personality. With Mr. Talat and the UN Secretary-General, the President of the Republic had also agreed on the procedure to be followed in the negotiations. This procedure provides for a reaching of a mutually agreed solution without artificial time limits and arbitration procedures, which will be put before the two communities for approval in simultaneous and separate referenda. On this basis, the President worked with Mr. Talat in the framework of the direct negotiations for a period of 18 months. These negotiations have borne fruit. There has been progress in certain aspects of the Cyprus problem, but it is true that we, as Greek Cypriot side, we are hoping for greater progress. The progress achieved was a result of convergences achieved in the chapter of administration, of governance, and power sharing, but also in the chapters of economy and European affairs. In all the other chapters, territorial adjustments, security, property, settlers, and even in those that there were convergences, were observed significant disagreements, which demand a great deal of work if they are to be breached. It is our firm belief that in the 18 months of negotiations with Mr. Talat, the progress achieved could have been greater, and the Turkish Cypriot community had a stance similar to ours. If they were more independent and not led by Turkey, if they came to the negotiations with a more constructive stance and worked for the formulation of a solution consistently on the basis of a bizonal bicommunal federation. Today, the leader of the Turkish Cypriot community is Mr. Eroglu. We had from the beginning thought that Mr. Eroglu policies would cause additional problems in the negotiations due to the position he has maintained over time and which he has repeated many times before the so-called elections in the occupied areas.